Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And yesterday, the Houston Texans released their unofficial depth chart against the Jacksonville Jaguars for Week 3. Let's go over it. Lots of injuries for this Houston Texans squad in Week 3 against the Jags, but they are getting two names back. Laremy Tunsil and Jimmy Ward would be back for the Houston Texans in Week 3. Jimmy Ward missed the first two games. Laremy Tunsil was out against the Colts Week 2, but played against the Ravens. So it'll be good to have those two guys back. We're going to go over the offense first, and then we're going to go over the defense, and then lastly, we'll go over special teams. So here's what the first team looks like for the Houston Texans in Week 3, and here we go. And by the way, this was last updated on September 18th, and now it's September 21st, so it's actually been more than, it wasn't yesterday. I thought it was yesterday, but it was 2 or 3 days ago. At quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Running back, Dameon Pierce. Fullback, Andrew Beck. Wide receivers, Robert Woods and Nico Collins. Tight end, Dalton Schultz. Offensive line, left tackle, Laremy Tunsil, go Devin back. Left guard, Josh Jones. Center, Jarrett Patterson. Right guard, Shaq Mason. Right tackle, George Fant. Nothing by surprise here. I don't think really anything should be different. I'm not mad about anything as of right there of what I saw. All right, second team on offense, Davis Mills, quarterback. Running back, Devin Singletary. No fullback. Wide receivers, John Mechie III and Tank Dell. And then tight end, Tegan Quintanaro. And then offensive line, left tackle, George Fant, which he's already at right tackle. Left guard, Jarrett Patterson, which he's already at center. Kendrick Green at center. Nick Broker at right guard. And then Josh Jones at right tackle, which he's already at left guard. So you have some players right there on the offensive line on the second team that are somewhere at the first team. Then the third team for the offense, you have Case Keenum at quarterback, Mike Boone at running back. So I guess that means he's going to be back, which actually I thought he got put on IR, but I guess he was just an inactive. So he should be back Week 3 against the Jaguars. Wide receiver, you only got one of them, and it's Xavier Hutchinson. And the reason there's only one of them is because Noah Brown is injured. Brevin Jordan at tight end. Then only one offensive lineman, and that's Michael Dieter at left guard. Then here is the defense for the Houston Texans. Defensive end, Will Anderson Jr., defensive tackle, Malik Collins, defensive tackle, Sheldon Rankins, defensive end, Jonathan Grenard, linebackers, Christian Harris, Denzel Perryman, Henry To'oTo'o. Then at nickel, it says Tavier Thomas, but he broke his hand. He's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. So at nickel, his replacement will be Graylin Arnold, who's been solid to start off the season. At cornerback, it does say Derek Stingley Jr. and Steven Nelson, but Stingley's dealing with a hamstring injury, will be out several weeks. So his replacement in the starting lineup will be Shaquille Griffin. He's expected to step up for this Houston Texans defense. So at the cornerback position, you have Shaquille Griffin and Steven Nelson. At safety, it does say Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie. Jalen Petrie will be out in this ballgame. So at safety, you will see Jimmy Ward and Eric Murray. Here is for the second team. Defensive end, you have two. Defensive end, Dylan Horton. Defensive tackle, only one defensive tackle, Kurt Heinisch. Other defensive end, Jerry Hughes. Linebackers, Corey Littleton, Novelli Hewitt, Jake Hansen. And then no nickel. Cornerbacks, Alex Austin and Kadar Holman. Safeties, you have only MJ Stewart and a little bit of Graylin Arnold, but he'll be playing nickel for the Texans. And then the third team, the only player on the third team is Blake Cashman at linebacker. Then special teams, punter Ty Zentner. Cameron Johnston is still out. He's on IR. Kicker, Kaimi Farenbairn. Long snapper, John Weeks. Then holder, Ty Zentner. Punt returner, Tank Dell. Kick returner, Mike Boone. So that is what the Texans' unofficial depth chart looks like for Week 3 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You guys let me know your thoughts on the unofficial Week 3 depth chart against the Jags. No complaints from what I saw. Only complaints I have is the injuries with Derek Stingley Jr., Jalen Petrie, and some of the other guys that are injured that I have to say different names. Because injuries, one word to describe early on for this Houston Texans team to start the season, I'll say it, and I think everybody would agree with this one word, and it is injuries. That has been the one word to describe this season so far. And it's looking like this Texans team will be haunted with injuries for a good portion of the season, with Stingley potentially could be out for 6 to 8 weeks, which that's going all the way to in the area of week 9 to week 11. So he could be out as far as in the area of week 8 to week 10, week 11. So hopefully the Texans, the least amount of time he misses is 2 to 4 weeks. The most amount of time he misses is 6 to 8 weeks. So we'll see what happens with Sting, and we'll see what happens with Petrie. Petrie is expected to be back in the Texans lineup against the Steelers in week 4 at home. So that is very good news. And then week 5, I think week 4 against the Steelers, we're supposed to get back Titus Howard. Then week 5, I think we're supposed to get back Kenyon Green. So week 4 and week 5 is when you're going to start to see some guys back in the lineup for the Texans, which is very good news. So return dates, week 4, Petrie and Titus Howard will be back. Right tackle Titus Howard and safety Jalen Petrie. Week 5, the Texans will get back nickel Tavier Thomas, and if not week 5, week 6, they'll have him back, and that game will be in Atlanta. And not only will they get him back, but they'll get back center Drew Scruggs, and they might also get back punter Cameron Johnston that week as well. So week 4 and week 5 are going to be the games against the Steelers and the Falcons where the Texans start to get some names back in the lineup that have been injured in the first couple weeks of the season. So that is good news for the Texans. But guys will come back in week 4 and week 5, but who knows how many more names will be on the injured list by then. But you guys let me know your thoughts on the unofficial depth chart for the Houston Texans. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Texans.